Before we begin, subscribe and leave a like. Your small gesture helps this story go further. Where are you listening from? Her voice cut through the dining room like she was asking me to pass the salt. So, on Christmas you'll watch the kids from 9 a.m., right? I need to get ready for the dinner party and George will be busy with the grill. 5 pairs of eyes stared at me across the table. Linda's kids kept chewing their turkey like nothing had happened. My dad poured himself more wine. And I just sat there with my fork in midair like someone had hit pause on my brain. I need you to understand something. This wasn't a question. It was an announcement. I'm sorry, what? I said. Linda smiled that smile. You know the one. Patient. Like she was explaining something obvious to a child. Christmas Day, 9 to 5. The kids need supervision and I'll be swamped getting everything ready. You don't mind, do you? I looked at my father. He was studying his wine glass like it held the secrets of the universe. Dad, I said. He finally looked up. Come on, Ethan. It's just a few hours. Your family. And that's when I knew. That word. Family. It didn't mean what I thought it meant anymore. Let me back up. 3 days before this, I was in Seattle. Happy. My girlfriend Rachel and I were planning our first Christmas together. Low-key. Movies. Chinese food. The kind of holiday you actually want to have. Then my dad called. His voice had that tone. Hesitant. Guilty before he even spoke. Your stepmother really wants you here this year, he said. It would mean a lot. I hadn't been home for Christmas in 2 years. And yeah, I felt bad about that. So I said yes. Rachel saw it on my face immediately. You don't have to go, she said. I know, I told her. But maybe this time will be different. She touched my hand. Just don't let them treat you like you don't matter. I should have listened. I flew into Portland on the 23rd. Linda met me at the door with this big performance of enthusiasm, hugging me, calling me honey. The kids didn't even look up from their iPads. My dad was busy in his office. That night, I slept on the couch. Not the guest room. The couch. Because the guest room was now Austin and Aiden's gaming room. I'm 34 years old, and I slept on a couch with a blanket that smelled like wet dog. But I told myself it was fine. It was just logistics. Just bad timing. Christmas Eve morning, Linda asked me to drive across town to pick up gifts she forgot at the store. 2 hours round trip in holiday traffic. When I got back, she was annoyed that I took so long. My dad was watching football. Thanks for helping out, he said without looking at me. That afternoon I helped set up for the dinner. Linda barked orders like a sergeant. I moved chairs. I folded napkins. I kept the kids from destroying the decorations. My dad grilled steaks and drank beer. At one point, one of the twins knocked over a ceramic angel. It shattered. Linda spun around and glared at me. Ethan, why weren't you watching them? I was in the kitchen. The angel was in the living room. Sorry, I said, because that's what I always did. I apologized. My dad said nothing. And that's when I started to see it. The pattern. I wasn't a guest. I wasn't a son. I was free labor. Dinner was at 6:30. The table was full. Turkey, sides, wine. Candles, picture perfect. Linda raised her glass. To family, she said. Everyone echoed it. Even me, like an idiot. We ate, small talk. The kids complained about everything. My dad asked me surface-level questions about work. Linda interrupted constantly to talk about her plans for the big Christmas dinner tomorrow. We're having 18 people, she said. I've been planning this for months. Sounds great, I said, and then she dropped it. The babysitting thing. I stared at her. So you want me to watch 5 kids for 8 hours on Christmas Day? It's not 8 hours, she said, laughing. 9 to 5. That's what, like 7? 8, I said. She waved her hand. You'll be fine. They're easy. I looked at Kaylee, the 12-year-old who was currently smearing mashed potatoes on her brother's head. Linda, You're not doing anything else, she interrupted. And honestly, Ethan, it would really help me out. There it was. The guilt card. I turned to my dad. He was cutting his turkey very carefully, deliberately not looking at me. Dad, I said, did you know about this? He cleared his throat. Linda mentioned it. I told her you'd probably be happy to help. Happy. I felt something crack inside me. Not anger. Worse. Clarity. I came here to spend Christmas with you, I said quietly. Not to be a babysitter. Linda's smile tightened. It's called being part of a family, Ethan. We all pitch in. When's the last time you asked me how I was doing? I said. Silence. When's the last time you called me just to talk? not to ask for something. My dad finally looked up. Ethan, don't... No, I said. I wasn't yelling. My voice was calm, cold. I want to know when. He didn't answer. I pushed my chair back, stood up. The kids stopped eating. Linda's face went from fake sweet to sharp. Where are you going? She demanded. I'm leaving. You're being ridiculous, my dad said. His voice was louder now, firmer. Sit down. I looked at him, really looked at him, and I saw it. The same man who used to take me fishing, who taught me how to ride a bike, who promised after the divorce that nothing would change between us, but everything had changed, and he'd let it. Merry Christmas, Dad, I said. I grabbed my coat. Linda was saying something behind me, something about disrespect, about immaturity. I didn't turn around. I walked out the door, got in my rental car, drove. My hands were shaking. I checked into a hotel 20 minutes away. A Holiday Inn, clean, quiet, empty. I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. Linda, you embarrassed your father, very mature. Then my dad. Can we talk tomorrow? You overreacted. Overreacted, I didn't respond. I called Rachel instead. Hey, she said softly, how's it going? And I told her everything. She didn't interrupt, didn't try to fix it, just listened. When I finished, there was a pause. Then she said, when did you become the person they only call when they need something? I didn't have an answer. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying it. Not just the dinner, everything. 8 years, 8 Christmases. Every single visit started the same way. Linda was wondering if you could... We need help with... Never. We miss you. Never. How are you really doing? I thought about my dad's wedding to Linda. I was 26. He asked me to be his best man. I said yes. In his speech, he thanked Linda for giving him a new family. I was sitting right there. Nobody mentioned my name. I'd told myself it didn't matter, that I was being sensitive, that blended families were complicated. But the truth was simpler. I wasn't part of the family. I was just someone they used to know, and I'd been showing up year after year, hoping it would change. The next morning, Christmas Day, someone knocked on my hotel door. I opened it. It was my dad. He looked terrible. Circles under his eyes. Unshaven, still wearing the same shirt from dinner. Can I come in, he said. I stepped aside. He sat in the chair by the window. I sat on the bed. We didn't speak for a long moment. Finally, he said, you didn't have to leave like that. Yeah, I said, I did. He rubbed his face. Linda's upset. The kids are confused. And you? I asked. How do you feel? He looked at me like I'd asked him to solve a math problem. I feel like you embarrassed us, he said. Not hurt, not apologetic, embarrassed. Dad, I said slowly, did you hear what Linda asked me to do? She needed help. She didn't ask for help. She told me I was babysitting, like it was already decided. You're making this bigger than it is. I laughed. It came out harsh. Am I? He shifted in his chair, uncomfortable. Look, I know Linda can be direct, but she's under a lot of pressure. 5 kids, the holidays, it's a lot. Then maybe you should help her, I said. I do help. You were watching football while I set up the entire dinner. Silence. You asked me to drive 2 hours to get her gifts. You let her yell at me when one of the kids broke something. And then you sat there and said nothing when she tried to turn me into free childcare. His jaw tightened. You're twisting things. No, I said. I'm finally seeing them clearly. He stood up, paced to the window, stared out at the parking lot. What do you want me to say, Ethan? I want you to tell me when I stopped being your son. He turned around. That's not fair. Then tell me I'm wrong. Tell me the last time you called just to talk. Tell me the last time you visited me. Tell me the last time you remembered my birthday without Linda reminding you. His face went pale. You forgot, I said quietly. Last year, my birthday. You sent a text 3 days late. I've been busy. For 8 years. He didn't answer. I stood up, walked to the window, stood next to him. I tried, Dad, I really did. I came to the wedding. I smiled through every awkward holiday. I helped move furniture. I babysat when you asked. I showed up. Then why are you leaving now? Because I finally realized something. I'm not leaving. I was never really there. He looked at me. Really looked. And for a second, I saw it. The recognition. The guilt. But then he shook his head. You're being dramatic, he said. And that was it. That was the moment. Maybe, I said. But I'm also being honest. He moved toward the door. stopped, turned back. Linda wants an apology. I almost laughed. For what? For walking out. For making a scene. Tell Linda I'm sorry she had to find another babysitter. His face hardened. You know what your problem is? You've always been selfish, even when you were a kid. That one landed. Wow, I said. Your mother spoiled you, made you think the world revolved around you, and now you can't handle it when people need something from you. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Is that what you really think? He didn't back down. Yeah, it is. I nodded slowly. Then I guess we're done here. Ethan, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to rewrite history and make me the bad guy because I finally set a boundary. I'm your father. Then act like it. My voice cracked. I didn't mean to yell, but it came out anyway. Act like you give a damn about me. Act like I'm more than just someone you call when you need a favor. He stared at me. I love you, I said quietly. I've always loved you, but I can't keep showing up to a place where I don't belong, not even at Christmas. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. I don't know what you want from me, he said finally. And that was the saddest part. He really didn't. I wanted you to choose me, I said. Just once. Over her. Over convenience. Over keeping the peace. He looked away. But you won't. And I can't make you. I walked to the door. Opened it. Merry Christmas, Dad. He left without another word. I closed the door, sat on the bed, stared at my hands. My phone buzzed. Rachel, you okay? Me. I will be. I flew back to Seattle that afternoon. Spent Christmas evening with Rachel. We ordered Thai food, watched bad movies, didn't talk about it. But that night, lying in bed, she said, I'm proud of you. For what? For knowing when to walk away. I didn't feel proud, I felt empty. Does it get easier? I asked. She thought about it. I don't know, but at least it's honest. 2 weeks later, my dad called. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Hey, he said. His voice was different, smaller. Hey, long pause. I've been thinking about what you said. I waited. You were right. About some of it. Not all of it. Some of it. It wasn't much, but it was something. I'm sorry, he said, for forgetting your birthday, for not being there. Okay, I said. Can we talk? I mean really talk, not about Linda or the kids or logistics, just us. I looked out the window. Seattle rain. Gray sky. Yeah, I said. We can try. It wasn't a happy ending. It wasn't even really an ending. It was just the truth finally spoken out loud. We talked for an hour. He didn't defend Linda, didn't make excuses, just listened. And when we hung up, I didn't feel fixed, but I felt lighter. Here's what I learned. You can love someone and still walk away. You can set a boundary and still leave the door open. You can say no without apologizing. Family isn't obligation. It's not sacrifice. It's not showing up to places where you're invisible just because you share blood. Family is choice, every single day. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop pretending. My dad and I talk now, not a lot, but more than before. Real conversations about life, about mistakes, about what we both want this to look like moving forward. Linda and I don't speak, and that's fine. I didn't go home for Christmas the next year or the year after that, but I didn't spend them alone either. I built my own traditions, with people who chose me back, who saw me, who didn't need me to disappear so they could be comfortable. And you know what? It felt like freedom. People ask me sometimes if I regret walking out that night, if I wish I'd handled it differently. And honestly, no. Because for the first time in 8 years, I told the truth. I said, I matter. My time matters. My feelings matter. And if that makes me selfish, then I'll be selfish. I spent 3 decades trying to earn a place at a table that was never set for me. I'm done now. Not with love, not with family, just with the version that asked me to be smaller so everyone else can be comfortable. My dad sent me a text last Christmas, thinking of you today. I'm sorry for the years I didn't. I didn't need him to say it, but I'm glad he did. We're not fixed. We probably never will be. But we're honest now, and that's enough. So if you're listening to this and you're sitting at a table where you feel invisible, hear me. You're allowed to leave. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to choose yourself. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you free. And maybe, just maybe, it makes space for something real to grow. That's my story. Thanks for listening.